So today, we're diving into a brand new platform called ProofMark. And it's being built to fight on a completely new kind of frontline. This isn't a war with soldiers and tanks. This is a war for the truth itself. And the weapon of choice? Artificial intelligence. And to really get a grip on the stakes here, just look at this quote from the project's creators. This isn't about little rumors or honest mistakes. We're talking about disinformation that is deliberately, strategically engineered to cause chaos, to destabilize societies, and to just chip away at our trust in everything.
And that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? I mean, when the actual battlefield is our social media feeds, our news apps, what does a defense system even look like? Well, that's exactly what we're going to explore. To build any kind of effective defense, you first have to understand the weapon you're up against. The massive challenge we're all facing is that technology has completely changed the game. It's changed what misinformation is and just how fast it can spread.
This slide right here just lays out the problem perfectly. Our traditional defenses, like human fact checkers, are super important, but they're slow, they're manual. They can really only tackle one claim at a time. And they're going up against AI-powered junk that is lightning fast, totally automated, and can flood the entire internet in minutes. It's like bringing a knife to a gunfight. It's just no longer a fair match.
So, how do you fight an automated threat? Well, you need an automated defense. And this is exactly where ProofMark steps into the ring. It's a platform specifically designed to operate at the same insane speed and scale as the AI that's pumping out the bad information. And here is its core mission, plain and simple. The key here is that this isn't about damage control. It's not about cleaning up a mess after a lie has already gone viral. The whole goal is to be proactive, to give regular people, you and me, the tools to spot this stuff as it's happening and stop it in its tracks. Okay, so how does it actually do that? How does it work? Let's pop the hood and take a look inside. It all really kicks off with one core concept from the world of AI. And that concept is called embeddings. Now, I know it sounds super technical, but the idea behind it is actually pretty simple and kind of brilliant. Imagine that every single news story, every social media post, every piece of content gets its own unique address on a giant digital map. Well, stories that are talking about the same thing, making the same claims, end up being next-door neighbors on that map. This allows the system to see these massive patterns that no human ever could. So this all comes together in a really slick 4-step process. First up, it collects. It's just constantly gathering huge amounts of information from all over the web. Then, it represents all that content using those embeddings we just talked about, giving everything an address. Third, and this is the real magic, it clusters. It finds those neighborhoods of similar stories and groups them together. This is how it spots a coordinated disinformation campaign. Finally, it uses large language models, yep, another form of AI, to verify the claims and give a simple summary of what's really going on. Now, all of that is the heavy lifting happening behind the curtain. What's most important, though, is the end result. What do you, the user, actually see? The goal isn't to blast you with a fire hose of data. It's to give you a clear, simple answer. Think of the final output as your own personal intelligence briefing. You get a clear verdict, is this true, false, or maybe misleading? You get a confidence score, so you know how sure the system is. It shows you the supporting evidence it used to make its call, and maybe most importantly, you get a simple explanation with no technical jargon. And that focus on clarity, that is absolutely critical. Because really, what good is a fact check if nobody can understand it? The whole platform is designed from the ground up to be transparent and easy to get, because that is how you build public trust. But let's zoom out for a second, because this is about so much more than just checking a single news story. A tool like this has some pretty profound implications for how we operate as a society, right down to the little decisions we make every single day. At the end of the day, this is all about empowerment. It's about shifting the balance of power away from the people who use misinformation to manipulate us and putting it back in our hands. It's about making sure our decisions about our health, our finances, our democracy are based on facts, not on fear and lies. I think this final quote from the source material just sums it all up perfectly. For all the talk about the dangers of AI, this is the other side of that coin. This is about taking the most powerful technology of our time and pointing it in the right direction, using it to defend the truth, not to distort it. And that leaves us with a really critical question. The weapons being used in this information war are sophisticated, they are powerful, and they are everywhere. So how are we going to choose to arm ourselves? What tools will we as individuals and as a society decide to use to defend not just the facts, but the very idea of a shared reality?